Hey guys, it's Bill from OneHappyDiabetic.com. I hope everybody's having a great day out there today. Hey everybody, what's going on? Listen, today's video is going to be, you know what? It's going to be a personal review of my own Dexcom 7 CGMS device. I get so many questions about whether I like my CGMS, whether I don't like it, you know, what is this whole CGMS thing? Now, if you don't have one, or if you do have one, keep in mind, this is just my opinion, okay, of how my Dexcom works for me. And yes, there are bad things, and yes, there are good things. So I'm just going to try to put it all together in one little video so you can get a nice overview of maybe some of the things that you didn't know that could happen to you when you're on a CGMS device, but also to get some realistic expectations of what a continuous glucose monitor should be doing for you. Okay, first things first. Do I like my Dexcom? Yes, I do. I just did a little video, about why I liked it so much. So I'm not going to repeat myself, okay? But definitely being able to see the trends at night so that I can get a good basal rate with my insulin pump is something that's very important to me. Now, here are some misconceptions about this CGMS device. You know, a lot of people that wear this device, they really take a lot of ownership on the numbers that it has. But you got to keep in mind, these numbers that these CGMS devices have are not the most accurate, and they always need to be compared to a finger stick. Now, my Dexcom, when I get a low blood sugar, it doesn't alert me before I physically have symptoms of a low blood sugar, okay? Now, maybe it might alert me sooner than I know. I don't really want to say that because I always feel low and then the thing goes off. It's like a 10-15 minute delay, sometimes longer delay. But what it does help me with is it helps me get out of that low feeling or get out of that low blood sugar a little bit sooner because I have more information on how I can treat my low blood sugar. So if my blood sugar numbers are dipping in a really fast decline, I then know that I need a lot of, more grams of carbohydrates than I might have needed if my blood sugar was slowly going down, and then I get an alarm and then I have to treat. And you always should see, check with your other meter, do a finger stick when you're having a low blood sugar. But the trend lines help me better treat my lows, so I appreciate that. So yes, it does actually, I don't want to say prevent my lows, but I actually get, I treat them better with using a CGMS device. Now the highs on the other side, it does alert me before I actually have symptoms of a high blood sugar, and so I'm able to treat those too. But here's a problem. With more information that you receive from this Dexcom, you kind of want to react to everything. So when you're having a high blood sugar, you kind of want to do, some insulin to get it down. And sometimes what ends up happening is I end up getting more lows because I'm treating these highs with waves of insulin and not being patient. So actually what this device can do is help train you to be more patient when you're doing your insulin. If you have a high glucose in the morning at, let's say, 8 a.m., that insulin that you do at 8 a.m., it's going to be in your system for about 4 hours, okay? So 2 hours down the road when your insulin's peaking and maybe your blood sugar's still high, a lot of us might have that tendency to do more insulin. A big no-no, okay? Because we need to see how all that insulin is actually going to affect ourselves in that 4-hour window that we did starting at 8 o'clock. With the CGMS device, you can see that. So you'll be able to see it trending and coming back into zone, and I think it actually might help with people that are over-bolusing too. But also, it might not help you people that over-bolus because now you're seeing that information on a more consistent basis and you kind of want to do something immediately. So that's just a little bit of background on the device itself. Now here's some experiences that I've had, some negative ones. My sensors fail. I don't know if yours do. I bet they do too, because mine do. And I've read up a little bit on it. They fail. And you know what? I want to say, now this is just me, I'd say 1 out of 8, and that's nice. That's being nice. That's being nice. 1 out of 8 of my sensors end up failing before the 7-day window that I have. Number 2, the problem next is that I have to then call Dexcom to see if I can get a replacement sensor. Now let me tell you this. They have given me exceptional customer service for the most part. I have, when I've called and had an error, been able to get shipped a replacement sensor. But listen, if I'm having sensor failures kind of all the time, or on a routine basis, it gets kind of annoying to have to keep on calling. And depending on who you get on the other end of the phone, sometimes, listen, I haven't had the nicest person, you know, on the other end of the phone, where other times I've had somebody who said, listen, we'll send you one right away, we're really sorry. Okay, and I appreciate that when that happens, because it's not my fault that my sensor's failing sometimes, but maybe sometimes it is. Now, the other thing with the sensors is how they stick to you. Now, here's another huge issue. We all have different types of skin. So getting a sensor to stick or getting your infusion set to stick to you is a challenge, right? So now add in another challenge is how do I get this thing to stick for 7 days and stay on for 7 days? Now, I would be lying to you if I told you that just by putting what they give you, the package, the material, their adhesive, and putting that on my body, does that last me 7 days? No, no, no. Especially if you plan on showering each day. Yeah. So, so is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, you know, it's kind of a bad thing. I want this thing to hang on for 7 days, but it's really not possible. Plus the other part, now I have to spend more money on extra adhesive and things like that. One of the other drawbacks that I wish they, you know, will figure out is, now here's just my Dexcom displaying right now. I just ate. So you can see how right there is when I ate. Hopefully this will be rounding off. Now be patient. Don't bolus right here. Be patient. I already bolused. But, you know, this is my 3-hour window. I would love it on the bottom here if it actually gave me the time. It has the time right here, but let me know, like, what exactly this, you know, time of day is so that I can better adjust my insulin if I need to. I would love to have a timeline that actually showed what time it was on the bottom and not just a 3-hour window or 1-hour window of a wave. That doesn't really help me out. Now, I know I can go on the computer and download my results and then see it, but I'd like to see it right then and right now. So I really wish they could improve on that. Plus the fact, this thing is huge. Let's face it, it's big. It's in my pocket. Get out of my pocket. Get off my hip. I don't want anything in my pocket. Don't want anything in my hip, but I have to because I want to see the results that, you know, this provides me. So slim this down, baby, and I'd be much happier. Now, here's the other thing. If you wear a Dexcom 7, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. When you insert this Dexcom 7, right, the inserter, right, first of all, it's like this clunky operation. It's like, you know, it's angled funny and, oh my God. But once you get it inserted, if you do that correctly, once you get that inserted, it does sting a little bit, but once you get it inserted, there's the infamous twist off of that little nub, that plastic nub. You know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. That little plastic nub, it's like, why is that so difficult to, like, you know, twist off? I feel like my sensor is going to be coming out when I have to twist off this thing. I really wish they can improve upon that. Now, I know the functionality of that little plastic piece is to pop in the sensor or the transmitter, you know, onto the sensor so that it stays there. I get that. I get why that's there. But when I got to twist it off, I mean, it's like almost impossible. If I don't have someone to help me sometimes, it's ridiculous. And I've actually been in a situation where I couldn't get the thing off. And I don't know, and when I twist it off, it ends up hurting me, and I don't know. Fix that problem, man. Fix that problem. I don't like it. It's clunky. It doesn't make sense to me. There definitely is a simpler answer. Woo! Man, I'm like venting on my CGMS. Here's another thing that actually happens to me. Sometimes I don't wear my CGMS device, and I take a little bit of a break, right? I take a break from it. Well, I don't know about you, but when I take a break from my CGMS device, I almost need like a re-education on how to manage my diabetes. I've kind of, you know, gotten so used to being able to see where my ebbs and flows are, and then the day that I go off it, I kind of like have to get back in that routine where I'm testing more because I actually test less when I'm on my sensor, when I'm on my Dexcom. So shifting that routine is also difficult too, and nobody talks about that when you're not wearing your sensor, how difficult it is to get back in that range. Well, this video is way too long. I've talked way too much. If you listen to this whole thing, I want to say thank you. I really do appreciate everything that you guys give me, all the feedback that you do. I really appreciate it. Listen, comment on this video. Wherever you're seeing this video, comment on this video. If you've had some of the same problems, share them. If you had some of the good things happen to you, share them. If you can think of ways to get this device better, share them. Why not? Hey, listen, everybody, have a great day. You can be a one happy diabetic too. It's all about your attitude.